All right, good Thursday morning, or maybe we could say Bursday. I mean, it is pretty chilly out there, right? But we're all cozy here in the WJOB studios, and you're listening to the PNW Today program. And wherever you're tuning in from, whether that's via the radio, YouTube, or on WJOB and Jet TV podcasts, we're happy to have you with us. It's a great show that we have on deck. We're going to be talking about Honors College and the College of Nursing at Purdue Northwest. First on deck, our lovely friends from PNW's Honors College. And joining me, just going down the line here, first we have Dr. Jonathan Swartz, who is our Dean of the Honors College in University College at PNW. Dean Swartz, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Kale.
On this Thursday. Thank you. We have Francesca Campisi, who is a sophomore majoring in nursing and an Honors College student. Francesca, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And last but not least, we have Zane Winders, who is a sophomore cybersecurity major and Honors College student at PNW. Zane, thank you so much for being here.
And thank you for having me.
So before we dive into the show, I'm just going to give a roundup of a few pieces of information and upcoming events. So if there was anyone that tuned in on the previous PNW Today program, Giving Tuesday was one of the topics that we discussed. And Giving Tuesday did, of course, just occur this week. And the early indications that I have from my colleagues in the Office of Institutional Advancement is that it was a very successful Giving Tuesday. So for anyone who did make a gift in support of Purdue University Northwest students earlier this week, we sincerely thank you. Every contribution that you make goes a long way to making a difference for our students, and especially if you made a gift in support of the PNW Food Pantry. We are really appreciative of that. So a big thank you to all supporters of Purdue University Northwest. And just a reminder, if you're looking ahead to the new year, there will be a special group recognition Purdue University Northwest license plate available through the Indiana BMV. So if you go to pnw.edu/license-plate, you can find out information about how you can register or renew with PNW. And if you acquire one of these license plates in the new year, if you're an Indiana resident, part of that purchase does go toward supporting scholarships for PNW students. So again, pnw.edu/license-plate, that's the URL to go to.
It's a very cool design.
Yes, exactly.
Very well worth getting.
We know that we're going to be doing that pretty early on in the year, for sure. And last but not least, we always love to be able to shout out our friends in athletics. So if you're looking to catch any of our athletics teams in action, women's and men's basketball, they're going to be hosting the visitors from Ferris State this evening. 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. are going to be the tip times for those games. And if you want to be able to catch men's ice hockey, the ACHA D1 team is going to be having a ranked match against the visitors from Adrian. That's going to be tomorrow on Friday. That should be a pretty good one. Always tends to be a perennially good matchup. And then the ACHA D2 team is going to be hosting Marquette at 7:30 p.m. on December 6th. And again, those games are at the Cube. Find all PNW Athletics information at pnwathletics.com. So if there's anyone that's just tuning in, again, we are talking about PNW's Honors College to start off the radio program this morning. Always one of the great topics that we're able to bring on during the academic year. And we have a great cast to be able to help lay out what Honors College is all about, what the community does at PNW, how it impacts our community, and how it enhances the educational experience for members. So again, we have our lovely Dean of the Honors College and University College, Jonathan Swartz, and students Francesca Campisi and Zane Winders joining us. So to go ahead and start out, Dean Swartz, I'm going to tee you up first. Tell us a little bit about what purpose that an honors college or an honors community fulfills at a university.
An honors college is there essentially to take our best students, the best of the best, because we have fantastic students all across the university, but to take the best of the best students and provide them with extra opportunities for doing things that really matter at the university and matter in their own professional and personal development. So I think the easiest way to summarize what we do in the Honors College at PNW, and by the way, we're about 700 students in the Honors College, so we're a big, very large, diverse organization of a college of students from every major in the university. And really what we do, and I hope this doesn't steal what the guys are going to talk about, because we talk about it all the time, so probably they'll mention it too. Easy way to think about what we do in the Honors College is our motto, which is learn, serve, and lead. I like that because I need to keep things simple, and this is a simple way of thinking about what we do. Learn. We're here for the reason the PNW exists, the reason our students exist, the reason we're all here is for academic excellence. And these are the excellent academic students, the academic achievers on campus. So learn is about doing research, working with professors in the laboratory, in the classroom, going the extra mile. One of the things we really emphasize in honors is what can we do to really take our educational experience to another level. And I mentioned research. That's something that's really super important for so many of our students, where they'll get into the lab, work, or in some other field, get out into the community working on research projects, oftentimes under the mentorship of our excellent faculty, and really kind of get a head start on their careers, on graduate school, on the things they're planning to do afterwards. It's something that I, as an undergraduate, didn't do, and there weren't really that many opportunities back in the day. Now, the emphasis on is let's get students going, let's get them really high achieving from the very beginning, and really starting to do the kinds of things that will directly tie into the job market, tie into their professional careers, tie into graduate school, and all those sorts of things. So that's learn. Serve and lead. Serve, we believe we've got a responsibility as good citizens, as civic-minded people, as members of the community to serve the community. And these guys are probably going to talk about some of the service they've done, because it's a huge aspect of what we do in the Honors College. And I won't get into that too much because I'll let them, I don't want to steal all their thunder. And then the final piece, it's not the last but not least by any means, is leadership. Lead. Everybody, we emphasize in the Honors College that everybody is and can be a leader. I think sometimes in society, and sometimes a lot of us probably have this idea that leaders are a certain personality type, that maybe only certain people are kind of born to lead. And maybe that's the more gregarious, outgoing kind of people who are kind of more naturally, out there and are comfortable in public settings and things like that. I always try to emphasize to students, I think one of the things we do a really good job of getting everyone to kind of realize is that leadership takes so many forms, and really everyone, regardless of your personality, regardless of your, what your position in life is, regardless of whether you're a student, you're a guy like me at my age, whatever profession you're in, within the family, within the home, within your community, within your churches and schools, whatever, everybody can be a leader. And so leadership development is a super important part of what we do. And Zane and Francesca are two of our student leaders. We picked them because they've been so important in the leadership within our Honors College community. So maybe they can speak to that as well. So learn, serve, and lead. And I'll stop there because if I keep going, we'll be out of time and no one else will get the chance to say anything.
That's a really great overview. Thank you very much for providing that, Dean Swartz. So let's go ahead and tee it up for Francesca and Zane. So tell us a little bit about how, this will be a two-part question here. What brought you to PNW and why you decided to words are hard in the morning, to pursue your particular major, and why you decided that you wanted to join the Honors College community. So just going down the line, Francesca, let's hear from you next.
Yeah, absolutely. So PNW is close to home for me. I wanted to be close to home, and I wanted to go to a great school. And so I landed on PNW. It had everything I wanted, an excellent nursing program, which is my major, and just great people. So I got a lot in the mail, I got a lot of emails, and I kept seeing this learn, serve, lead motto on every email.
If you graduate without not learning, learn, serve, and lead, we've done something wrong.
Exactly. So I saw that everywhere, and in high school I also took a couple of leadership roles. I knew that I wanted to make friends, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of something, and Honors College was that. It was perfect. I was able to make a lot of friends and have opportunities I never would have gotten without it. I've been able to excel in academics, and I really give a lot of that to Honors College. I feel that they've helped push me to reach high academic scores through Honors College. So academics and opportunity and community is what landed me on Honors College. And then nursing, I've always kind of wanted to do medical, and nursing offers me kind of a patient-centered approach. I get to be with people. I like people. So that gave me that community and person-based career within nursing, within medical.
Excellent. Thank you. Zane, how about for you?
And I chose PNW. I am coming back to school for a second career. I'm coming back after 10 years as a professional performer. So I have never lived in Indiana, but my family moved out here about 10 years ago. So that kind of what helped decide on PNW specifically for me was I had family that was here. So past that, I chose cybersecurity because of the puzzles. I love solving puzzles and figuring out how all the pieces fit together. So that's kind of what the career seems like to me, is a lot of like different pieces that you have to see how they actually align with each other. Honors college was an easy choice once I chose PNW. My baby brother, 9 years younger than me, was in honors college, and we kind of like to make fun of him a little bit because it took him until about his senior year, summer before his senior year, to really get involved. But by the time he got involved, he went off the deep end and became part of the advisory board. He was fully involved in everything honors. So when hearing about his experience and he regretting not being involved earlier and seeing all the benefits towards the end really made me want to get involved as early as possible. I went my first week on campus and got to meet Deborah Bachman, who's one of our staff in the Honors College, and that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. I could never go back. Honors is definitely my people, my family.
Excellent. Well, and it sounds like for both of our student guests here, they've found a community that they really vibe with, that they're passionate to be a part of. And as in our conversations earlier this week, Dean Swartz, one of the key things that you mentioned is that when undergraduate students first come to college, this could be really any setting, helping them find a community where they belong enhances their desire to want to stay and pursue to the end of their degrees.
That's exactly right, Kaylin. And I think when we look at you asked, I think at the very top of the show, what the value of the honors college is, and I think there's lots of different ways that it's really invaluable. But perhaps the most important thing, and it's interesting that both Zane and Francesca mentioned this in their answers, is, and you just mentioned it, is this idea of community and of belonging. One of the things we know from the research that's done out there, because there's lots of researchers who are all constantly doing research on what makes for student success. When a student comes to the university, how do we make sure that they're successful and that they get through and they graduate, they get their degree, and then they move on to great things beyond college? And the thing that keeps coming up over and over and over again in this research, and it's really very intuitive in many ways, and probably it's common sense in a lot of ways, is that when a student feels like they belong, when they feel like they've got a community, as you talked about, when they feel like this is my home, this is where I belong, this is a place where I've got friends, those students will be successful in their individual courses, they'll be successful semester by semester, and they'll be retained and they'll graduate. They'll ultimately be successful. And like I said, I think that's almost common sense. We all want to feel like we belong someplace. We all want to feel like these are my people, this is my group, these are my friends, this is where I belong. And so one of the things we really emphasize in the Honors College, even though we're as big as 700, is we have so many things going on. We try to build community among the students and the faculty and the staff, because if we get a student in the door at PNW and they have a good experience, they start making friends, they start getting engaged. First thing I say to students the very first semester, before they even get there, very first day, make friends and get involved right away. Get involved with a campus organization. Get involved with campus activities. If you do that, even though you may be shy and you may be nervous, what do I do? If you do that right off the bat, you'll be successful because you'll feel integrated. You'll feel like this is your place, and then you'll go on to great things from there. And I think that what these students have talked about, and I could bring in hundreds of other students who've had exactly the same experience.
Exactly. So, in speaking of getting involved, both Francesca and Zane have leadership roles with the Honors Student Advisory Board. Can you tell us a little bit about the positions that you have and what those foci are?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the Community Service Chair for our Honor Student Advisory Board. And with that, I do a lot of organizational stuff. I talk to a lot of other community leaders and just offer as many community service opportunities as I can. This year, I really wanted to focus on offering opportunities on campus. I know that transportation can sometimes be difficult for a lot of students, and it's easy. If I have a class, then I run to community service, and then I go back to class. I want to make community service easy and accessible for everyone. So that's been my big focus this year, just as much community service as I can, as many different opportunities, as many different times. I want everyone to be able to do it because it's rewarding and it's fun.
Excellent. Very good.
And I'm the vice chair for our peer mentorship program. So our peer mentorship program focuses on that leadership role and the students being able to take on that position. So all of our first year students that come in, we had about 250 coming in this year, got assigned to a mentor. So all of those new freshmen are mentees, and they get assigned to a mentor. So each mentor that I have this year had about 7 or 8 mentees each. And so that gives each one of those mentors the ability to explore that leadership role a little bit more, to be a resource for those new students on campus, and to help give them someone to turn to if they need a friend.
Excellent. Very good. So clearly there's a lot of student buy-in and leadership that occurs within the Honors College community. So, whoops, dropped my pen there. Sorry. So during the academic year, what are some examples that you can share about initiatives and activities that the Honors College community helps lead for the campus?
One of our largest events I'll start with is our Honors 5K. So our 5K is a walk that we do annually to support a different charity or organization. So this year we supported Meals on Wheels. We had just over 700 people end up doing this, or 600 I think it was, just over 600 people doing this 5K, and got to raise just about $7,000 that we'll get to give to Meals on Wheels.
And this 5K, first of all, is a walk, not a run, so that's important for a lot of us. And secondly, it's open to the community, and we do it every October usually. So keep that in mind for next year. We start on the Fitness and Recreation Center on campus. We'll walk around Knickerbocker Parkway. So everyone in the community is welcome to join us. And like Zane said, all the proceeds go to benefit a local charity that the students select every year as the beneficiary of the 5K walk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And usually, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but usually aside from the 5K, there are also other opportunities during that particular year for students to volunteer. So just kind of thinking on back for past years, there's been Habitat for Humanity and Food Bank of Northwest Indiana that have also been beneficiaries for Honors College.
Does anybody want to speak about service? Because you've all done tons of service.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this upcoming Saturday, Honors College is going to be walking in the Hammond Holiday Parade, which we are very excited to do. Our theme this year is keeping our community warm. So we'll be passing out hats, gloves, scarves to kids on the parade route. So that's just one example of really amazing community service that we get to do. So that'll be this Saturday.
Excellent.
We try to make the weather warmer, but there's some things that even honor students aren't quite capable of pulling off yet. We're working on that, though.
We try.
Yeah, we're working on it.
That's okay. And that effort and initiative really is it's definitely noticeable and recognizable, and I definitely commend the Honors College community for all that it does for not just PNW, but also for the neighboring communities that we serve in Northwest Indiana. So when, as both Francesca and Zane, as both of you progress through your academic year, obviously you have a primary focus that you're focusing on your major, you're focusing on your classes, and you're also doing these additional components that are exemplifying, again, that learn, serve, lead motto. Why do you feel that that's beneficial to be able to enhance your academic career at PNW?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that I've been told by Dean Swartz, actually, learn is the first word in that motto. It goes learn, serve, lead. And that serve and lead can help you in learn. So I know that I've been to a couple of events. We do like a Taco Tuesday, Waffle Wednesday. Best part of Honors College is there's a lot of food. And at those events, ask for help. Do your homework while you're eating your taco. I feel like being in Honors College gives me the motivation and the resources to do well in school and to do that learning aspect. So I always have people that I can ask. There's always someone in your major. That's a really cool part of Honors College, is there are people in grades above you also in your major. Hey, you're in nursing, I'm in nursing. Would you be able to help me with this really quick? And everyone's answer is always yes. Everyone I've met in Honors College is open to helping you with your academics because we all want each other to succeed, especially in that aspect.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely everyone wants to help you succeed. I got connected with a friend, Henry Olson, who I've stayed connected to. He graduated last year as a senior. So as a coming into cybersecurity new, he was a senior graduating that semester. That gave me a lot of great advice and has gotten to stay connected to him. He was also in honors, but not just from our own major. I'll mention Dean Schwartz had talked about the interdisciplinary nature of honors. And I think that's one of the biggest things that appeals to me about it, is we're not all focused on the same thing. We don't all have the same mindset or the same classes that we're going to be in. We have that different bank of people to give a new view, give a new light on a problem that you're having, or even just to talk about something outside of your major for a little bit can be really nice. Like if you're so locked on one problem and you walk away from it, talking to someone that's having a similar problem can't always be the solution. If you talk to someone that's exploring something else, sometimes that'll give you a spark of idea for a revelation in your project even if it doesn't seem to necessarily relate at first. So I think that community is really, really wonderful, having the help from different areas, not just your own major. And I think the honors classes specifically really help with that focus because of the communication in the class. The honors specific classes, I've really noticed the communication basis that's in there. There's a lot of more in-class discussion. We dive deep into topics, and the teachers, the mentors are really there to help guide that for you and really want to help you learn those extra components that you're interested in.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we should give a little background about that. So what are the specific honors college sections and STAC courses that these students are eligible to be able to enroll in?
Do you guys want to take that, or do you want me to take that? Because you've all done it?
Yeah. I mean, there's a variety of different honors classes, whether it be a specific English class instead of doing like the standard English U, there's a 100 for honors specific instead, or we have special electives. Like one of the coolest ones that I've heard come through is a Myth, Magic, and Monsters, which explores different beings or creatures from different myths, and students give the opportunity to explore those things that you wouldn't necessarily get from general courses in a university. And you mentioned stacking courses. That's another great way to earn your honors credits, is you can do a little bit extra research or something outside of the scope of a class, like expanding on a project and doing some research on a paper that you're writing. Instead of just writing a paper, you add that research component to it and go above and beyond the scope.
Excellent. And also on one of the other topics here that we were talking about, on having that sense of community among honors college students, whether that's hanging out, volunteering together, leadership, help with homework and research, so on and so forth. We neglected to mention the honors den. There is a physical space where all of this actually does occur. It is not just hypothetical. So do tell us about the physical space that Honors College is able to use.
Oh, the den is amazing. I love our den. I'm always hanging out in there. We have some really comfy bean bags. We have like tabletop, where you can kind of spread and do your homework. There's a microwave in there. Anything that you could need, I feel like, is in there. There's whiteboards. I love that. I know a lot of students have been really into, we like to write stuff out on a whiteboard, do diagrams, things like that. I feel like it's a really good place to relax. And I've also noticed that it's not usually super loud, which is really nice. There's always people in there. Every time I've gone in, there's people in there, but it's not super loud like the cafeteria would be. Right. And it's not dead quiet like maybe the library would be. It's kind of like a middle area, which I really enjoy. So it's a really comfy place to go do homework or just hang out, talk to friends. Whatever you need to do, you can do in the Honors Den.
About a year ago, because of the growth in Honors College, the university invested in really refurbishing our honors area. We had a much smaller den. We call it the den. It's really a student lounge, but at some point in the past, even before we were the pride of Purdue Northwest, the Lions, we called it the den. And that was before my time, so I'm not sure where that came from. But it's always been the den. And we had a much smaller den attached to our offices. And the university, recognizing the growth of the Honors College and the importance of having these kinds of spaces where students can get together, interact, work on homework together, all these sorts of things, invested in a nice refurbishment of our den and expansion of our den. So it's much larger than it was in the past. It's got a conference room attached to it. It's always fun to go into the conference room with the whiteboard and see math problems on the board that I have no idea how to interpret. I always think something is going right whenever I see things on the whiteboard. I have no idea what it means. It's really a great place for students to work and to socialize. And like Francesca said, this is also where we have places like Nacho Average Mondays. Get it? Nacho?
Very good.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that, but Taco Tuesdays. Do we have Wednesdays yet?
Waffle Wednesday.
Waffle Wednesdays. Thursday, I don't.
Thirsty Thursday. We did like matcha.
That's right. I forgot Thursday and Fridays. I think we're just taking it cool on Friday. I think, right? I don't know. But as Francesca said, when we have food, then the den is just packed to the gills because there's nothing that attracts a student like food. So it's a huge. And I'm glad you brought it up, Kale. It's a huge part of building community is to have space like that. And we have a similar space on the Westville campus as well that is for the use of our honor students. And it's great to go in there and see students interacting with each other.
Excellent. Well, as we were musing about earlier this week, the time does fly on the PNW Today program, and we're having a lot of fun, but we do have to bring this segment in for a landing. So just to wrap it up, if anyone wants to find out more information about the Honors College community, pnw.edu/honors-college is the website URL to go ahead and visit. There's plenty of great information to be able to find out about the structure, the resources, and the opportunities with Honors College. You can see the extensive student leadership that is involved there, and if you feel like being a part of it, go ahead and submit that application.
If you're a prospective student or prospective family, we'd love to have you come by campus, see our space, meet us, talk to us. As we've talked about this whole time, we're here to support students and to make sure that they're successful when they come to PNW. So that's what we're all about. We'd love to meet prospective students and their families.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this segment. Dean Swartz, Francesca, and Zane, thank you so much for representing Honors College and coming on this morning to share more about your experiences. We're going to go ahead and do a quick transition. We have our friends from the College of Nursing joining us in just a few minutes. Stick around. All right, welcome back. It is December 4th, 2025. You're listening to the PNW Today program, streaming on WJOB, YouTube, and WJOB podcasts on Apple and Spotify. My name is Kale Wilk. I'm the media and communications specialist in the Office of Marketing and Communications. And for our second segment of the program today, we're spotlighting our wonderful friends in the College of Nursing. It's been a while since the College of Nursing has been on the PNW Today program. And to help share about all the great things and great opportunities in the college, just going down the line here, we have faculty member Kelly Callis, who is a clinical assistant professor of nursing. Kelly, thank you so much for being here early this morning.
Absolutely.
And we have Kayla Patterson, who is a PNW nursing student. Kayla, thank you very much for being here early as well.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Everybody feel great to be able to dive into our conversation about all things nursing?
Ready.
So, the College of Nursing, we're looking at student population, it's one of our largest colleges that we have at the university. So, and it's also one of the largest sectors, professional sectors, that Purdue Northwest consistently feeds graduates into and that our graduates are impacting. So to go ahead and start out our conversation, Kelly and Kayla, tell me, in your view, why is it important that students at Purdue University Northwest study nursing, and why is it an important profession for Northwest Indiana?
I think the biggest thing is that we live in a demographic here in the region where we have a multitude of patients of any age that have just so many illnesses and so many conditions, and our hospitals are full all the time. We need nurses at the bedside to help care for these patients, and you'd think we have a lot of nursing staff in this region, and we still don't have enough. There is a nationwide nursing shortage, and I don't think that shortage is going to go anywhere, especially with the older population of nurses getting ready to retire. And we need students in the nursing population to help the staff run, to help these hospitals run, and to help us care for these patients. It's an ever-growing healthcare world that we need the support to keep it up.
Absolutely. And Kayla, how about for you?
Just to piggyback off what Professor Callis said, the retirement, and everyone's retiring right now, and the demand that we have with the amount of people right now and everything we're facing in the world, I think is really important.
Absolutely. And of course, because we like to be able to, toot our own horn and say why PNW is a primary place to go ahead and study nursing. So if you're looking at trying to make the appeal for a prospective student and a family and community members, why do you tell them that studying nursing at Purdue University Northwest is the choice to go ahead and make if you want to make an impact for Northwest Indiana and really the Chicago metropolitan area?
I think one of the biggest motivational factors right now in today's economy is the cost, and our program is very cost effective. There's a lot of great programs around in this area, but unfortunately, a big driving factor, I think, for a lot of students and a lot of families is what is it going to cost in the long run for me to do this program to make it worth it. We do have a very cost-affordable program, but besides the cost, our program, I feel like, is special because we build a community, around the faculty and around the students. We don't want the students to just come in, take their classes, get their degree, and then push them out the door. We want them to have that commitment, that lifelong commitment to nursing. We want them to have that lifelong community partnership with the faculty, with the school, with the community that surrounds them. And we try to instill that sense of community into the classrooms with these students. And we try to build that support system for them and see them that they're not just a student behind a desk, that they're a human, they're a mom, they're a sister, they're a brother, they're a son. They have lives, surrounding school, and we try to support them and try to help them reach their goal around and navigate around all of the different situations they may be facing at home as well.
Absolutely. Kayla, how did you decide that nursing was going to be the major that you wanted to pursue?
Well, I've always, since I was little, wanted to be in the healthcare or the medical field somewhere. First, I thought I was going to be a doctor, and I was like, no, not a doctor. Not a doctor. And then nursing, it just stuck with me. And I've always been interested in labor and delivery ever since I was little. So being able to see that growing up, whether it be on TV shows or just experiencing it, and then having a daughter of my own and getting to see it, I was like, yeah, this is a place for me. And then trying to decide on a school, just to piggyback off that. When I did work in the hospital, I was working for EVS, and I told people I want to go back to school for nursing, and PNW was always recommended. Always by staff members, by management. PNW was one of the choices that they said.
Excellent. And just piggybacking off the doctor note, just teasing there. PNW does have an excellent DMP program, so
Yes.
so you could still be a doctor in a sense. So, and exactly to your point, Kayla, PNW's College of Nursing is a high quality destination for nursing students. If we're talking about the undergraduate or the graduate level, it is a wonderful place for them to be able to earn a wonderful amount of skills and turn into real incredible leaders in the healthcare field. Just looking at some of the accolades that the college has, if we're looking at our most recent U.S. News and World Report rankings that came out during the fall, PNW's College of Nursing was ranked in the 70s, and we're talking about that, nationally for the undergraduate program. And we are also a National League for Nursing recognized Center of Excellence in Nursing Education. So, Kelly, just speaking from the faculty perspective, what does having a designation like that from the NLN mean for the college?
Well, I think it's really a two-parter. I mean, in just the U.S. alone, there's almost 900 nursing programs. So for us to rank number 74 out of that many nursing programs was a huge benefit. And then having the National League of Nursing, Center of Excellence designation is a huge accomplishment for a nursing program to get. Again, less than 100 of the programs out of these, again, almost 900 programs have this designation, so not many. And it strives from nursing programs that are not just pumping out warm bodies at the bedside. We are pumping out leaders. We are pumping out students that are going to lead the nursing field through the ever-growing changes, that are going to constantly bring about innovative strategies and innovative techniques at the bedside. And we strive as a nursing program to use those innovative strategies in the classroom as well. We are not just your cut and dry black and white nursing program. We are constantly researching new teaching strategies. We're constantly researching the data, trying to stay not just with the trends, but staying one step ahead of the trends and keeping our students in this high, high technological, innovative environment to learn.
Absolutely. To kind of dive a little bit deeper on the response there about techniques and innovations with nursing, what are some examples that you might be able to share about how maybe nursing has shifted recently over years, or what does the scholarly field, what is the data demonstrating or showing are recommended changes that nursing students are learning?
Yeah, a lot of the data, a lot of the research highly supports the use of technology in our classrooms and using the ability to simulate clinical scenarios for these patients or for these students. And nursing students in the 4 years that they're in our program, the traditional 4 years, they're going to be learning all kinds of medical diagnoses and skills and clinical needs at the bedside. And they need the environment to practice these skills without the possibility of potentially making a mistake, causing harm. And our simulation center in the Nils building here on the Hammond campus and in our technology building at the Westville campus utilizes, again, that high amount of innovation and technology. We have high fidelity mannequins that we can have these mannequins have seizures. We can have these mannequins give birth. We have mannequins that we do a C-section on. Just for many of the examples that the students can take part into these simulative strategies and these environments to practice their skills, to learn their diagnoses in a supportive environment where it takes away that fear of making a mistake, because our students are going to make a mistake. They're learning, and we want to support them through those mistakes so that they make the mistake. Sure, we review it though, we learn from it, we grow from it, and just having a black and white didactic classroom doesn't support that growth in the students as much as simulation does. And we try to utilize as many of our away from the classrooms, away from the PowerPoint kind of environment for these students, again, to also meet their different learning needs as well.
Absolutely. And I want to be able to dive a little bit into that on what the rigor looks like in the classroom space. But before we do, just as a rough overview, if we're looking at a undergraduate student's path of study, how would you say that that progresses over time? How do they start when they first come into the program, and then what does a student look like when they're about to graduate?
Yeah, I've had the wonderful opportunity of teaching at all levels of the program. So I primarily now teach the senior students, but I taught at the freshman level all the way up. And so I've seen what these students look like from day one all the way until graduation. And that first year, the students are scared, right? They don't really know truly what they're diving into. They don't know kind of what they're going to be learning. They're just barely getting their feet wet. And these students a lot of times need a lot more of our support, a lot more hand-holding at that stage in their learning. And it's truly usually when they get to the junior level, senior level, that we start seeing all the light bulbs click on above their head. That all these puzzle pieces that we fed them throughout the years, we finally cemented together, and we get to see these students have more of an independence. We get to see them utilize all their skills that they've learned and all of the information that they've gathered throughout the years at the bedside with these patients. And it helps us as well. Our light bulbs go on, right? We have that aha moment that, wow, we really did create this well-rounded leading student that I feel comfortable seeing them graduate and going on to the bedside. But again, it's a process, going from, again, freshman year to senior year. It takes time to get them to that point.
Absolutely. So, speaking of the student experience, Kayla, I'm looking right at you. So tell us a little bit about what you feel that you've really gained during your path of study, and any particular aspects of the program that you've really enjoyed.
So what I've gained is the confidence, the knowledge. Like she said, when you first come in, you are this scared, timid student. You don't know. You can't even pronounce half of these words, these medications. And then you get down the line, and just the empowering feeling and the feeling of confidence that you have when you can walk into a patient's room and be like, I know exactly what you need. I know what's going on with you. I know how to explain it. I just can't explain it. Coming from freshman year to now, to be able to do that, from being scared to even knock on the patient's door to, hi, my name is Kayla, I'm going to be your nursing student today, is really great. And I think a big part of that does play into the sim lab that the campus offers, because you don't want you being in the nursing field on the floor to be your first time experiencing something and making a mistake. But you can do that in sim, and then they explain it to you. Why was it a mistake? What can you do better? And you have the confidence to go into that same situation in the real world and know what you need to do and how to handle it under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And speaking of those real world applications, let's talk about clinicals for a sec. So to start up this point of, or this particular topic, Kelly, what are the clinical requirements that undergraduate nursing students have as part of their path study?
It truly depends on what class that they're in. A lot of the beginning clinical classes, our goals for clinicals is, just like Kayla said, just to get them to knock on the door and walk in the room. But as they go through the program, especially later on in the program, we'll have a higher rigor in clinicals. We expect them to do more skills independently. We expect them to perform more of our nursing tasks without that hand-holding in the background. But we, as a Purdue campus, we have such a strong partnership with our community and all the surrounding area hospitals, all the way, from Porter region to Chicago. And we have students that'll have clinical rotations on a medical surgical unit and an ICU, in a mental health unit, in pediatrics, in OB, NICU, surgery. I've had students that observed a craniotomy, a brain surgery, right next to the doctor. I've had students, watch, many, many live births and help moms during labor, and as well had the experience, unfortunately, to help families navigate through a patient that is passing, and transitioning through death. And our students get such a well-rounded experience with clinicals, and I think it fosters from that strong sense of community with our community, with our surrounding hospitals. The hospitals, not, again, to toot our own horn, but when they see those Purdue students walking through the halls, getting ready to start their clinicals, they know these students are here to work. These students are here to learn. These students are going to be helping. And the hospitals look for us. They do. To be a Purdue student is something to be proud of in these clinicals.
Absolutely. Kayla, tell us a little bit about your clinical experience that you're doing.
Oh, I love them. Right now, I am in OB, and I am also in Adult 2, which is a med-surg floor. OB is by far my favorite. It is where I want to go, labor and delivery. I have seen a C-section. I've watched live births. I've, like she said, taken care of moms after and before delivery. But I've also seen patients who are maybe in heart failure and they've just got this diagnosis. Maybe they're going through their second round of cancer or chemo. Maybe they just had a stroke and life as they know it has just changed because they don't have those abilities that they used to have before then. And so being able to help them navigate that, and then the clinical instructors, they're always there to help, but they really do push you to, hey, you're going to be on your own. Let's do this. I'm here to help you when you need it, but they give you the confidence to go in there and know that you can do it yourself. And then if you can't, they help you figure it out. No problem.
Absolutely. And earlier this week, as we were preparing for the show, I know that you said that it is typical that you will find a PNW connection at the hospital, whether that's another College of Nursing faculty member that is at that site, maybe a fellow student. So exactly to both of your points, the chances are, kind of like 6 degrees of separation, chances of you being impacted or served by PNW, either a current person that is currently there or somebody who is a graduate from the institution, chances are pretty high that we'll be helping you in that capacity.
Absolutely.
I did want to just touch back on, again, the supportive community that is in the College of Nursing. When you're talking with prospective students about why those relationships matter in the classroom, what do you like to be able to emphasize for them, and or what kind of misconceptions do you want to dispel that, again, to your point that it's not just, you're not going to be lectured at, you are going to be walking on this journey together toward achieving your BSN.
Yeah. We want students to understand, first and foremost, nursing school is hard. And there's no simplifying that. Nursing school is very rigorous. It's very hard. But it doesn't mean that nursing school has to be impossible. It doesn't mean that nursing school has to be this traumatic experience for students. So we don't ever want to lie to students, right? We're not going to tell them nursing school is easy. You're going to get through it just fine, right? It is rigorous. It is hard. It is difficult. But we have all of these tools and all of these again, innovations, and again, that sense of partnership that we're going to help them navigate this difficulty. We're going to help them navigate this rigor. We're going to make sure that they have every resource that we could possibly throw at them from PNW and the surrounding community to make sure that they see their beginning footsteps freshman year all the way to when they're crossing that stage senior year. And it is one of the most rewarding experiences as a faculty member to know, wow, I was part of that student's journey. And we tell prospective students that, when they're facing difficulties in life, we've had students have all kinds of problems in their lifehood, in their familyhood, whichever. We don't want them to shy away from us. We don't want them to bottle it up. We don't know you're struggling if you don't tell us. But we want students to come to us with these problems so we can help them navigate those too. And if it's a situation that, say, I cannot personally help them fix, I will absolutely walk with them to go get them their resource, whether it's our counseling center, whether it's the dean of students, whether it's the food bank, right? We're going to make sure that they have those resources to succeed, because we don't want them to just come to class and leave my door. I want to see them move on to the next level and move on until eventually they're no longer saying, hi, I'm Kayla, I'm going to be your nursing student. They're going to say, hi, I'm Kayla, I'm going to be your nurse today, right? And that's what we as PNW want to see in the very end for these students.
Absolutely. Well, Kayla, would you agree with that particular sentiment based on your experience?
Absolutely. There has not been a semester here where I can say that I had a professor who just lectured and then just go ahead. No, I've had professors every semester. They check on you. They make sure you're okay. They see if there's anything that you need. I've had those instances where they maybe they couldn't provide me what I needed, and they gave me the avenue to go get the things I need, and or walked me there, like she said. So I do think that in this program, communication with your professors is key. You can't make it without it. They are not here to make the program harder for you. As she said, it is rigorous. Not going to sit here and make that up. It is hard, and they let you know it's hard, but they're here to help you through it. They're here to help you with whatever resources you may need or recommendations that you may need to get you to the next level. So I will absolutely agree with that.
Excellent. We should also touch on, of course, that it's not just the classroom. We also like our students to be well-rounded with the extracurricular opportunities that they have. So tell us a little bit about what opportunities that there are for nursing students, or at least ones that are kind of focused for nursing students.
There's the extracurriculars outside of the college, nursing, of course, athletics, honors college, volunteer opportunities like that as well. But within the College of Nursing, we do have a nursing club. We have 2 different nursing clubs, one on the Hammond campus and one on the Westville campus. So it helps with those students. They don't feel like they have to travel between campuses to be a part of a community. Through the nursing club, we have different volunteer opportunities. We'll do food banks, we'll do community drives, we'll do blood drives, fundraisers, etc. We also, once a semester, we put together a meet and greet between the faculty and the students. So we want the students to come out of the classrooms. We want the faculty to be out of the classrooms and mingle with each other over, refreshments, drinks, and just get to know each other and understand that we're human too, right? Students, faculty, we're human. We have lives, we have interests, and we have hobbies, and we would love to see, oh, wow, we have, so-and-so in common or whichever else. We have, a couple years ago, we brought back successfully every semester the pinning ceremony, recognition pinning ceremony for the students. So it's a special celebration that's separate from graduation, that the nursing students get to come with their families, with their special guests, and be pinned by whoever they feel is their special guest, just to show that they did survive this rigorous journey. They've made it to the end, and they're ready, and they deserve to be recognized for the hard work and dedication that they've done, over the years. And I think that ceremony is a nice closure for the students for the end of the program as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll also just plug in there, STEM on the Road. That's one of the other great initiatives that Purdue University Northwest provides during the semester, where we're talking about, of course, College of Nursing here. We also have students from our colleges of Engineering and Sciences and Technology, where the students, it's kind of like the traveling roadshow. They take aspects about their research and their classroom experiences, and they visit local high school and middle school students to be able to show, okay, here's a little bit of a sample or a taste of what this particular path of study could look like for you. And it's really eye-opening for those students. So when College of Nursing students get to go on STEM on the Road, what do they like to be able to demonstrate?
We actually will take our mannequins on the road with us. So those high fidelity mannequins, we will travel with us, and we'll take it to the surrounding community schools so that the students can have that opportunity to kind of play with our stuff, right? And we can demonstrate to them both, yes, what our mannequins can do, but in the same time, this is what we will do with real people upon graduation as well in the bedside. And, I think that it's important that we start talking about college, we start talking about school, we start talking about lifelong learning with our students as early as possible. It's elementary students should have the opportunity to see what it is to be an adult and have hey, it's not just going and getting a job and making money. It's you get to do some really cool things, and to be able to demonstrate that to the students, I think helps foster, again, that sense of lifelong learning.
Absolutely. Yes. And looking ahead at post-graduation, we of course like to be able to talk about, okay, where are our nursing students going to be transitioning into? So, of course, Kayla gave the great example that labor and delivery is the area of interest for you. Earlier this week, we were talking about a whole range of different career possibilities for where nursing graduates can go ahead and transition into. So what are some of those examples, if you don't mind sharing some?
When our students are finished with PNW upon graduation, we're preparing them to be what we call a generalist nurse, right? So this is a nurse that has not received specialized training, right? But even without the specialized training, there's 100 doors that open for opportunities that these students can go to. They can go, like we said, to labor and delivery, to NICU, where they take care of the really sick babies. They can go to pediatrics, ICU, med surg. We have intermediate care. We have dermatology. We have estheticians. We have surgery. There's an endless list of things. And say students try the bedside and they decide, I still want to be a nurse, but maybe I don't want to be in the hospital environment. There's doctors' offices. There's schools that they can go work at. They can work in IT, right? We need informatics, nurses in informatics. And so just having that generalist BSN degree opens up just 100 plus doors in that route. The students can also choose to come back, right? And we pray that they come back, to PNW, but they can go back and get their master's degree and move on for nurse practitioners, right? Or get their DNP, right? And move into education, academia, and help change the nursing workforce. But upon graduation, we have been very fortunate to have a 97% really opportunity for these students to get jobs, right? Our latest, we always send out surveys at the end of the journey for these students, and our latest survey shows by data that 97% of our students are getting jobs in the workforce upon graduation after obtaining that BSN degree. And I think that is a very successful percentage for these students, that they're going to get their degree and they're going to get a job and get out into the nursing workforce.
Absolutely. So, Kayla, as you look ahead at your professional career and the goals that you have, I'm going to ask a two-part question here. Mm-hmm. What are you most looking forward to in making an impact for the field of nursing? And if there are prospective students who are considering majoring in nursing, what do you like to tell them, or what advice do you like to be able to give them?
So what I'm looking forward to is just making a difference, especially in labor and delivery. I feel like for a woman, that is one of the most vulnerable times. And just to have comfort there, I want to be able to help provide that, especially for first-time moms. This is a scary thing for you. This is new for you. I want to be a part of the reason you're okay with that. I want to be a part of walking you through that and helping you navigate that. It's just a great feeling to do. And then as far as what do I tell other students or other prospective people, I tell them nursing. One, outside of just the many great things you will see and the things you'll be able to help with, is job security. There's always going to be a need for nurses. You're always going to have something to fall back on. And then in case you go into one field of nursing, you realize that's not for you, or you're bored, you have all these different avenues that you can take, all these different areas that you can experience and try. So why not? It's a job that just keeps giving.
I think that's a benefit too to the clinical experience. Upon graduation, they as a student will have visited a dozen different areas of nursing, and so they get their feet wet. They kind of interview those places themselves and see, is this an area of nursing that I might want to work to in the future? And I think that's a great opportunity for students to kind of just see and test.
Yes, I think the variety that PNW offers you, not even just in terms of clinicals, but the professors all come from different backgrounds of nursing, so they can give the different amount of years of experience they've had. They may be new grads. They know exactly where you're coming from. They're fresh off. They may be someone who's been a nurse for 20 years. They have all this knowledge and experience to pass on different areas. So as far as the professors having these different experiences in nursing to give you advice on, you also have these clinicals that take you all over.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yes. And also just again to echo that point, many of our nursing faculty members, besides doing the teaching aspect, the research aspect, they are out in the fields. Mm-hmm. That is a part of their role that they are doing, and so I always commend and say our nursing folks, whether that's the faculty, staff, or the students, I mean, you are busy folks. So major kudos to all of you. So, well, we are just about to wrap it up here for December 4th. And, like we were saying, time flies on the PNW Today program. So I want to give a big thank you to Kelly and Kayla for joining this morning to talk about all things College of Nursing. If you want to find out more information, go to pnw.edu/nursing, and you can find out how to apply, what the different opportunities are, and of course, the great accolades and the great recognitions that the College of Nursing has. So if you are a prospective student and you're looking at a career in nursing, you will be in very good hands at Purdue University Northwest. So with that, again, that's been the December 4th PNW Today program. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you the next time on the radio during the new year. So until then, take care. Happy holidays for everyone, and we'll see you next time.